1-minute warning.
You need to rejoin the other Hangout first so you can do the AMA. All right, welcome to Revolution Televised. This is the pilot episode of the weekly show where we're going to let you know everything that's going on in the political revolution. We are a all-volunteer grassroots network inspired by Bernie Sanders, if you're just finding out about us. Today we're going to be talking about all the different ways that you can get involved in the political revolution. We're also going to be talking about the most recent progressive win that we had in Birmingham, Alabama with Randall Woodfin. Today we actually have two guest speakers. We've got two moderators on the Political Revolution subreddit. We've got Anthony. Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
Hi. And we've got Karsh. Welcome, you guys. All right. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, we're actually going to update you guys on some upcoming Ask Me Anythings. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's where we bring a candidate on to ask them anything. It's a really good way to bring some coverage to these grassroots candidates who are just everyday people. Karsh, do you want to talk about the upcoming Ask Me Anything?
Hey guys, yeah, sure. So I am Tyree07 on the subreddit, if you guys have seen me around. We got a lot of AMAs this month, and first up is just in a couple days, just Faya. He is running for Nevada Senator, and that'll be October 10th from 12 to 2 p.m. Let's see what's next. We have Alex Ocasio running for New York's 14th district and for Congress. She is the figurehead, the spearhead, let's say, of the BNC-JD candidates that are all in the list here, and she's going to be here this Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. Definitely check that one out. Let's see who's next. We have Nicole Johnston running for Aurora City Council in District 2. She is from 12 to 2 p.m. And let's see who's next. And next on that list is Brian Gary for Cincinnati City Council. We recently endorsed this guy, actually. He's going to be here on October 24th from 12 to 2 p.m. And last but not least, somebody squeezed their way into that first week of November, our hot week before Election Day. Ken Queen. He is running for North Carolina's District 10, House of Reps. So we'll see him then on November 2nd from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. It's an evening AMA. Well, those are the AMAs. Let me throw it back to you, Will.
All right. Thank you, Karsh. So we actually have some elections upcoming as well. This Tuesday, October 10th, we have generals in Florida and North Carolina, and we have primaries in Massachusetts and North Carolina. The full details of those can be found on our subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/political_revolution. And then at the top of the subreddit, you'll see a link for election calendar. And then if you also go to political-revolution.com, we have calendars there as well for all of the AMAs that Karsh just talked about and the upcoming elections. So now we're going to open the discussion portion of this. Since this is our pilot episode, we want to talk about the revolution itself, the organization, how it got started, and how you can join us. So the political revolution inspired by Bernie Sanders. I mean, he coined the term. We founded in July of 2016, right after the DNC convention. That was a very hurtful time for the movement, but we, a group of us, myself included, decided, we need to push forward with this thing, no matter what. And if we're going to get or enact the vision of Bernie Sanders' platform, universal health care, everything that we want to get accomplished, it's going to take a very granular, grassroots, national effort. So that was the inception and the inspiration behind the political revolution. In November 14th, actually, so the anniversary is coming up, a political action committee was founded in conjunction with the subreddit, which was the seed of all of this. The political action committee is also called the Political Revolution, and we are able to directly coordinate with candidates with this PAC arm and fundraise for them, and as well as use it as a resource for our volunteers and empower and fund the different projects that they have going on, and like this one, like the PolRev Live channel. So that's one way that we have to be active. But then, of course, we have the subreddit itself. We love, we have 65,000 subscribers right now, and some of our best volunteers have come, most of our volunteers have come directly from the subreddit. And just like Karsh and Anthony, who we're going to be talking with here right now, actually. So I'd like to have you guys talk about your experience with the revolution. I'm actually going to start with Anthony. So when and why did you apply to be a moderator for Political Revolution?
So I started around April, and I applied from New Jersey, where I did a lot of my efforts during the Sanders campaign. I was a very active volunteer during that primary season, knocking on doors, making phone calls, even like going across state lines to do that, help people get registered to vote, but most importantly, getting them to show up to vote. And I recognized that after the primary, this energy isn't over. We have to do this leading up to 2018 as well. So I saw an outlet for that in the Political Revolution. I've really enjoyed the experiences I've had here, taking on new responsibilities. I quickly joined the AMA team now to help schedule candidates who are coming in like much quicker and quicker as we head into 2018.
So what's your favorite part about doing all this? Talk a little bit about like your day-to-day interaction with the team.
Yeah, so basically day-to-day, like aside from the modding, which I don't do as much as I did, because like now we're getting involved with things like this, the PolRev Live. We're getting involved with scheduling AMAs and making sure that the subreddit looks the way it should to promote these candidates and things of that nature. So that's what I do on a daily basis, is answering these emails, making sure that the candidates are informed as to the process and whatnot.
Right. What's the I guess what's the most exciting thing that's happened in the recent months for you? Like what keeps you inspired?
The results, whether it's mostly small results, but that's what the revolution is supposed to be about. We're winning mayoral races, which we're going to talk about later, city council races, and hopefully as more and more of these victories are won, we head into the bigger congressional seats.
Absolutely.
So that's what keeps me moving on the end result.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've been such a great person to work with. You came in April?
Thank you. Yes, April.
Yeah, and I mean, we've, for everyone watching, I mean, really this hasn't been easy, this whole thing, and it's not easy to take the step from frustration to action. But we want to make that easier for people, by empowering people's skill sets, their natural skill sets. If you have graphic design skills, if you're a writer, if you, I mean, even if you just blog or, you know, or if all you have is like an hour or two a week and you just want to post stuff on Reddit, I mean, we will put you to work. But in the best way. I mean, we really have an open environment. We have a Slack, we have a Discord. Yeah, so I invite anyone and everyone to get involved and really, you know, join our family is what the culture we're trying to cultivate here. Because that's what it's going to take, is that deep sense of solidarity to move us to where we need to be. Thank you, Anthony, for taking the time to talk.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Karsh is here with me. Actually, we're in New York City, and I'm going to bring him on here to talk about, he's also a moderator, and he's here with me.
Hey guys.
On camera live.
Nice to meet everybody. Yeah. Thanks for having me on Political Revolution from the beginning. I've been here with you too, Anthony, since the beginning. So yeah, lots of good stuff happening here, and I mean, I'm just so happy that, you know, all of these things that we provisioned as a team have come together, and we want to bring everyone in on this. This is our stage, guys. This is the Political Revolution. So, yeah.
So you came in April as well, and you're stationed out here in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit about my political background. I was involved in, like, you know, student activism back in Chicago when I went to school. And since I, you know, kind of came back to work here in New York, I did a lot of Freedom Cities Initiative. If you've heard of it, it was with ACLU, their people power movements, and Indivisible, really, you know. And so all of these kind of mobilization groups that I was involved in, I've kind of brought that practice into the virtual space. And like Anthony's been describing, you know, the process that we are going to have with, you know, all of these candidates and campaigns we work with, it's all coming from the ground. And that's you know, the spirit of the revolution. We're the grassroots guys. Yeah,
that's actually a really good, for the people watching that don't necessarily understand how a digital, you know, how we can impact things on this digital level. Maybe talk a little bit about like how we engage people on the Slack and the Discord to get to the action.
Right. Well, I guess the key here is real time, one-on-one. We're all here talking, and we're talking to you directly, whoever it is watching. And you know, it's about being in front of all of us as people doing this thing as the people. I don't know, it's very, very vague.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, if we get in touch with who we are as activists, you know, like what drives us to do these things, what's in our self-interest, then we're getting somewhere. We're realizing why we're doing this together, why we're even uniting behind this cause to elect a city council member. I mean, it's 2017, right? But we got a lot of big stuff coming, and this is all here for us.
Yeah, and you've been really instrumental in organizing digitally. You built the Discord, and if, for anyone who's on or not on there, if you want to join and go to our subreddit link, and then on the sidebar you'll see join the Discord.
And don't forget your spoon.
And don't forget your spoon. Yeah, we've got a lot of weird internal memes, but you know, this is a place where you can go, where you can interact directly with us, and we can build these digital campaigns. Is essentially what we're doing. Politics is very digital nowadays. You've got a very social media heavy messaging platform. Everyone's on social media nowadays. Fundraising largely takes place digitally. So we do a lot of fundraising campaigns. We do a lot of email marketing. But primarily we're spreading the message. We're engaging people on one-on-one. We're changing minds, and we're showing people how easy it is to go from, you know, from just posting about it on social media to turning that into a targeted, either an informational effort or a fundraising effort or phone banking, or there's so many different ways to get involved.
Yeah, I mean, you asked of Anthony, you know, like what was the most amazing thing that's happened, you know, since we've both been here since April, and like honestly, it's that seeing all of these things come together, seeing everybody contribute their skills, assets, their talents, you know, that's what's motivated me to keep doing this and, you know, contributing whatever I'm contributing. It's because we all share these core values as progressives, and we're doing it for that, and that's
How did you feel about the Randall win?
Just passion overflowing, explosion. Like
Randall Woodfin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, progressive mayor in Southern Alabama. That's really
Right after Jackson as well. Like, you know, we're gonna have all these bastions in the South. It's crazy. Crazy cool.
And we're going to talk more about that after this provision to break.
Provision.
We'll be back in a minute here. We've got a video for you guys.
Back.
Okay, we're back. So we had a huge win this past Tuesday in Birmingham, Alabama. It was a mayoral election, and the winning candidate named Randall Woodson. The reason this is so important, if you don't know a lot about Alabama politics, is it is a very historically conservative state, and Randall actually overthrew the incumbent candidate, and it was just a kind of a sounding call in the night, I don't know, for the progressive community. There's so much excitement. Over 50,000 doors were knocked and over 40,000 phone calls were made for this campaign. I want to open the discussion, bring Karsh and Anthony into it. What were you guys doing the night of the Alabama one?
Well, I actually had fallen asleep early at like 8 o'clock or something whenever the results came in. And then I woke up around 3 in the morning and I saw the Slack chat blowing up about how Randall won. And, you know, it was a really exciting feeling, as excited as you could be if you just woke up at like 3:30 a.m. But, you know, it was there. I was really proud of Randall and the efforts from our community. It was one of the races we worked one of the hardest for, and it really paid off. It wasn't even a close victory either.
Yeah. What do you think about Randall's message, like, really hit home for people?
I just think, like, you know, after the Bernie campaign and stuff, and he was like one of the main mayoral candidates to come in here. And, you know, I think it was something different. You know, it's not just that any Democrat will cut it. It's that, you know, a certain type of Democrat, we need to be moving forward now and do better.
Yeah. Yeah, unity. And it's about, you know, that term is thrown around a lot, but what it means is, so Randall, his campaign, he really, one of his main messaging points was he wanted to bring a balance or a marriage of supporting the downtown, the city areas, and then the other 98 neighborhoods. And one of the great things that he said during this was actually on election day, but he said there isn't a choice. It's not a choice, you know, whether you're supporting one or the other. You know, these things are all interconnected: money, economy. So I think that he was able to reach out to, you know, young, old, white, black, rich, poor people, and that's, you know, that's the message of unity. And it's not just a slogan. You know, the Democratic Party shouldn't be using it as a, you know, as a campaign card. It's the actual ability of a candidate to marry a lot of different thoughts, walks of life. Randall did that really well, and that's why he won.
Completely agreed. I mean, if I could jump in, Randall's main message for me was education. You know, the fact that being able to articulate the progressive message to the masses is a huge feat because of how technical things get and how people talk about money, economics, and just how that can really be, you know, kind of put offish for most. And Randall was able to personalize that message and really speak to not only his own communities, the 98 neighborhoods, the 99 neighborhoods. You know, that message really stuck out. And the charisma that he has as a candidate is really what kind of, I think, drove him to this win. You know, the personification of William Bell as, you know, the evil incumbent.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those things were present, and it was just such a gratifying win.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So on that note, I do have to head out now, guys, but it was super exciting to be a part of this pilot stream. And, you know, we'll do a lot more of these. So thank you for having me, and have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Anthony.
See you, Anthony.
Wheel. One of the things that we did as a subreddit or what we do for campaigns like these. So Randall announced his campaign, I think even like a full year before this election. But we, as an organization, didn't find out about it or hone in on it really until I think we endorsed him in April or March. Okay. So one of the things that we do is we have kind of two different approaches to candidate support. And this is something that if you sign up to volunteer, whoever's watching this, this is something that you get to do, and you get real campaign experience doing these things. You know, it's you know, there's the family aspect, there's the fun aspect, but what you're doing actually translates. You know, you can put these things on a resume. So, and that's another way that we like to empower people, you know. Of course, we're all volunteers, we're all doing this for free, but your skill set translates to progressive action, translates back to skill sets, translates, you know, into whatever you want it to. So what we did for Randall, we organized phone bankings. That's, you know, we have a dialer system, grassrootspb.com, that we work with. It's a separate org, but they have the ability to take VPB lists and automate those, which is really, really awesome. And it's accessible. Anyone can go on this. If you haven't done it before, you can go to grassrootspb.com and it'll have not every candidate, but, you know, certain candidates that have been in contact with them. And you just click on their picture and it actually tracks your calls and kind of gamifies it a little bit. And actually, we incentivize that too. If you go on and make these calls, if you're interested in doing that, you can submit to us proof of your activism, and then we have a ranking system and you could get stuff. So we really, really are looking for anyone and everyone to get involved in whatever way, and we'll help you do it, whether that's provide skills, time, buttons. If you just want buttons, like look at this button right now. Look at it. Talk about the buttons, Karsh. Please talk about the buttons. Tell people they need them. Okay.
Definitely the buttons.
Okay. Well, I think I've gone a little bit off topic here, but anyways, so Randall's win, I think the toughest part about the revolution is that there's no instant gratification involved whatsoever. Well, we're trying to bring the element to it, you know, join our Slack, instant messaging, Internet of Things, we've got it all. But beyond that, the elections, you know, it's all about the one-on-one engagement and changing those voters' minds and reaching across many different demographics. And the best way to do that, canvassing, phone banking. Obviously, we can reach people digitally, but it's mostly going to be, you know, a certain demographic. But, you know, millennials watching this, that's kind of the onus on us, really, is to use our most comfortable medium and capitalize on that, and just keep bringing more and more people into it. And it really, the more people that are involved, it makes it easier. You know, you can climb. I don't know what metaphor I'm trying to make. It's just better with more people, right? Like you have a workload, you have one person, or you have a workload and then you have many people all coming together to do that. So let's get the work done. Let's get to 2018 and let's flip the government. All right, so I think I think that wraps up our show today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, Karsh and Anthony, and like I said, we're going to be doing this weekly, hopefully, and yeah, so see you next week. You want to say goodbye, Karsh?
Yep. Well, thanks again, guys. For real. PolRev Live.
All right.
Are we muted?
It's hot, but I had to have the book.
Nice. I thought that was really
Yeah.
I was chill and relaxed, so that's fine. I think we'll be better at this. We're clearly, like.
Oh, I can talk about
feedback
shit all day long. Like, there's a few times where, like, I'm thinking about what I'm saying, but also thinking about what I have to say, and then my brain, like, farts out.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, no, just say a word, and then it'll come to you.
Let's go to the park.
Okay.